Hello, my name is Ron, and I live here in Ellington, and we're at the base of Kibbe Road, and this is an access road up into the state forest where there's a gate about a half a mile up. These cement barriers were put in by the current owners of the property, but this road and access up to the state forest was built and put in by the federal government in the 1930s. And over the years, what has happened is that's an easement into that access road. And an easement means that the public has a right to use it. And these cement barriers need to be removed. And I hope part of the end of this, that the Attorney General's office and the town of Ellington will operate and press the right buttons to get these removed so the public can have access to it. We're going to go up this road. My intent is to show you the kind of damage that has been done to the trails in the state forest and to the road by unauthorized and illegal dirt bikes and motorized vehicles. This is Sykes Road, and where the vehicles have a right to use this road, but they don't have a right to come down and create other trails. And I'll show you the damage that the illegal vehicles have done to this road. We're now on the other side of the cement barriers, which are over on this side, and the access road is just over here. But because of those cement barriers blocking off the public's access to the road, you'll notice that vehicles will find another way to come into the state forest. And what they've done is come down off of Kibbe Road and created their own trail, which crosses a stream which carries water into the Ellington water system. But what happens when you create a trail with that kind of steepness, it drags the dirt down, it exposes the roots further and damages the tree system and the foliage system here. And it carries particulates down into the water system and on through the culvert. We're still on the access road at this point, but I wanted to point out that at 3 different points on the trail on the road going up to the gate, there are 3 culverts that are intended to bring water down and go under the road so it doesn't go over the road and start to erode the dirt from the road and expose rock and ledge. But what has happened over the time since those cement barriers have come in and the state has stopped taking care of the road is the culverts are now filled up with debris on both sides, and so all you get coming through here now is a trickle. And so when you do have the kind of rainfalls that involve several inches of rain over time, is what you get is you're going to get erosion. You can see the dirt coming down from the road and going down there and starting to expose rock. And so these culverts need to be cleaned yearly in order for them to work effectively for the environment and the ecosystem on this road. We're here now at the second culvert just up from the first one, and you can see that this culvert on both sides again is just filled with debris, and there's little or no water from rain and melting snows in the spring that can get through here, or if it gets through, it's an absolute trickle. If you really get a close-up, you can see down into the debris. There's only this tiniest opening down here where water might get through. Here's the 3rd culvert on the access road going up to the state forest, and you can actually see the stonework that was built. It's on both sides of the road. And once again, you can see down in here, this is just all muck. And there's hardly any room for the water to stream through under the road and to get into the stream. We're now at where the gate, the state gate up into the state forest is here. Now it hasn't been opened in about 2 years, where all the other state gates in another part of Ellington up by the lake and in Summers, they're all open, but this has been closed, and I don't believe it should be, because this is an access road down there. Now the tragedy here is approximately, well, this coming May, when Mother's Day is, just down here from this gate on the right about 75 feet, there was a suicide. and a 27-year-old young man committed suicide. And there was no way for emergency vehicles to get in here because all of this debris was piled up in front of this gate and the gate was locked. And so somebody ordered that the gate be open in order to get emergency vehicles in here and have this debris moved to the side when it should be open during the height of season where people can travel. But because the gate's closed, you'll notice that off to the right here, you have vehicles and dirt bikes and other illegal motorized vehicles have now come through and created their own road around and out joining Sykes Road up ahead. Now the area here where a pathway has now been made was all vegetation. It was all trees and ferns and flowers. Now it's just another dirt path where people just drive through and then drive the debris and particulates down the road. And there's just no respect for the environment, and I would like to see that change. Okay, we're on the other side of the gate now. Now we're officially on the road in the state forest. You notice because the gate is closed when it shouldn't be, and it should be open for access down, this is where the vehicles found another way into the forest to create roads. And so they have this area coming in through here, and they have another one coming up over there. I mean, they just go anywhere they want to. And you'll see up ahead, not only do have this road, I think the reason they created yet another one over here is because we have two trees over here that probably weren't wide enough for some of the illegal motorized vehicles access here into the state forest. So they went up here and created yet another road up and around that joins it probably 100 feet up the road. We're now at the first culvert since we've come on to state property. And you'll notice that it's all stonework, and it's a little higher stonework than in the previous culverts, and it has more of a downhill slope, so there's still room for water to come down. But you'll notice at the bottom that there is a lot of debris in there. But because of the sloping, it takes a good slope across, and so the water coming through here will join a stream that is down below, and it's certainly part of that stream that we had at the beginning of the trail. Now what you see before you now is the result of the lack of maintenance and grading the road where it used to be done yearly. And you see before you is where the soil and small stone are being washed away, and what now you're starting to see is you're seeing the underlying ledge starting to appear. Now over time the additional small stone and dirt will be worn away even further, and at some point this road may become unpassable by any vehicles because of the ledge being further and further exposed. That's why there needs to be regular maintenance of this road, or else it becomes less useful for the public to enjoy and have greater access to the forest.
Next are a series of photos of the damage being done by the illegal use of motorized vehicles on the trails in the Shenipsit Forest. The kind of damage you'll see will be vehicles constantly widening trails, going at high speeds, making gullies and mud throwing up particulates so they go downhill into our water systems, or they could be motorized vehicles riding side by side because they don't take any concern for the narrow trail. They'll go around both sides of trees, where the trails didn't exist before. You are also going to see trails in which there's root damage and the roots are exposed, and it's going to kill off small trees and other vegetation along the way. In some cases where you've seen the trails, I've put branches across the trail where they're trying to create a new trail, and I'm trying to create a diversion where they won't go over the branches. But in other cases, when you see along the main road, you'll see large puddles where they want to drive through those puddles. In a sense, they're taking an 8 or 10 foot road and trying to widen it out. and what I've done is put branches across the water to stop them.
So I'm hoping that the outcome of this is that these cement barriers will be removed, that Ellington will act on its removal. It'll be supported by the state, the Attorney General's office, because this is an easement. It's been an easement based on the fact that the federal government built this road and that the state of Connecticut maintained this road for decades. But in the meanwhile, until that happens, my dog, Nova, and I will continue to climb over these barriers and walk up here. But this area is a treasure, and it should be enjoyed by as many people as possible walking through, so you can enjoy the vegetation, enjoy the birds and the animals that are in the forest. I mean, we have seen coyotes in this forest. We have seen deer in this forest. We have seen skunks and possums, and this is a wonderful opportunity to enjoy nature. And the other part of it is that I want the state and to maintain the forest road where it's deteriorating and ledge is starting to be shown. This is too valuable to let it deteriorate to the degree that it has already, and then if it's not taken care of, this road may become a thing of the past, and there won't be a road, and there won't be the kind of access to enjoy. So that's my presentation. I hope someone in the community, either in Ellington and or the state, acts on this. Thank you very much.